They said the packet was in
I believe
order.
you'll find everything you
That
need
was
in
the
here.
claim.
Oh.
In order.
Thank you.
In sequence.
We'll review this immediately.
Nothing moved. Nothing missing. Nothing
I
out of
reviewed
place.
the details.
That
It
was
appears
how
to be
they
in order.
wanted it to sound. Clean.
Understood.
Procedural.
Proceed.
Safe. Because once a packet looked orderly, most people stopped asking what had once sat between the pages. That was the comfort of sequence. It made absence feel invisible. The packet lay on the desk between them, clipped, stacked, numbered. One embossed seal pressed hard near the lower corner of one page. That was what they wanted her to see. The seal, the authority, the official pressure. Not where that pressure had gone next. The man across from her didn't look concerned. He looked finished. The packet is complete, he said. Calm, easy, certain. As if order could protect itself just by being named. For most people, it could. Because once pages sat neatly enough, they stopped wondering how many had once sat in the stack before. That was the trick. Not changing the seal, not changing the page numbers. Just trusting that no one would check where the pressure had pressed through. Sarah looked at the packet, not at the page numbers, not at the top sheet, at the embossed seal, then beneath it. That was the difference. Other people read sequence. Sarah read force. A woman to the side relaxed too early. Another person straightened the stack as if neat edges could settle the room. That was useful. It meant they believed the visible page order was enough. Sarah reached forward, not to separate the packet, not yet, just to lift the sealed page slightly. That was enough. The room noticed. Because paper remembered depth, even when people pretended it only remembered ink. Sarah tilted the packet toward the light, and there it was. The embossed pressure had pressed through to the wrong page beneath. That was the problem. If the packet had always been in this order, the seal would have bitten into the sheet directly below it.
Is everything all right?
It hadn't. The impression sat one layer too deep.
You paused
Small,
there for a moment.
precise, impossible to explain away one
What is
seam.
it, too early?
That was worse, because wrong order could be blamed on carelessness. A seal pressing through to the wrong depth belonged to intent, to removal, to a page that had once sat there and no longer did. Sarah looked again, not at the seal itself, at the page that carried its memory. The man across from her noticed the pause. His shoulders changed before his face did. That was enough. What is it? The woman asked.
Too deep.
Too soon.
Deep. The
Too
seal
exposed.
pressed too deep.
Sarah placed one
It's
finger on the
damaged.
embossed seal, then another on the page beneath where the pressure mark appeared. This pressed here, she said. Then she held the page in between. It should have stopped here. Silence. No one interrupted. Because depth was not opinion. It was contact. And contact was hard to deny once paper had kept it. The man leaned forward, looked at the seal, then the page beneath, then the thickness between them, then back again. He didn't answer. That was the answer. The woman to the side straightened slowly. Another person stopped touching the packet. That was how certainty broke, not when something looked missing, when the pressure proved something had once stood between. The packet was still neat. That wasn't the issue. And the issue was where the seal had landed. The same packet they called complete,
No,
now exposed
it's
to
too deep.
exact depth
I
of what
pressed
had
too
been
hard.
removed. Sarah didn't push further.
know.
She didn't need
What
to.
now?
The paper was doing enough already. One seal, one impression, one missing layer. 3 details that should have protected their version, now turning against it. The man sat back, careful now, no longer settled. The packet remained open between them, still clipped, still orderly, still official, and no longer believable. Sarah stepped back half a pace, still there, still watching, but no longer proving. Because once pressure lands too deep, order stops being clean. And sometimes, the fastest way to expose a missing page is not to count what remains, It is to check where the seal pressed through after it was closed.
The story is deepening. Stay with me for the truth. Subscribe now.